So some of you may know that I have a video about this topic already up on my channel, and if you want to check it out, I will throw up a card above the video right here so that you guys can go right to it if you do want to check it out. But I purposely made that last video before moving in because I wanted to explain how my university was going about their COVID-19 business and whatnot, and how everything was apparently going to be formulated and put into place and whatnot, and how everything was going to be different. The reason why I'm making this video now, though, is because I've been on campus for roughly a week, and I kind of wanted to share my experience with what's been going on around my campus and how much different everything actually is, because, you know, now that I'm here, I get to experience all the differences and whatnot, and maybe some of you guys can relate to the things that I'm saying, or if you can't relate to it, maybe you can let me know what's going on with your schools in the description below. I don't care whether or not you're in college, as long as you go to a school, or if you are being affected in some kind of environment, then let me know what's going on and how you guys are handling the entire pandemic. I would definitely like to know what's going on outside of the realm and environment that I'm in right now. So this video is specifically going to be talking about my experiences with residential life and classes and whatnot. So I actually have a list about all the things that I want to talk about. So I might be rattling off, one by one. And if it seems like a rant, I apologize. But I wanted to begin this video by talking about how you're not allowed to go into anybody's apartments or dorms on campus. Obviously, because the spread of COVID would literally never die down if you were to do this kind of thing, they're enforcing this at a pretty hard and harsh degree. So the punishment if you go into somebody else's apartment, or if somebody comes to your apartment or whatnot, is you get suspended or expelled from the university without a refund. And it's actually happened already. It's happened a few times actually. As of right now, 12 kids have been removed from their housing agreements and their residential halls and whatnot on my campus. And it's honestly just going to become more if it's already 12. So it's pretty crazy to think that within only a few days, all these kids have been removed from living on campus just because they were having people over. It's a very scary thing to think of, and it really does show how strict they're being with everything. The people that have been removed were removed for various different reasons. It has to do with how they had people in the apartment who didn't live there, but what I mean by different reasons is some people have been kicked out because they've had one or two people in, and then there's been kids who have been removed because of parties. So I actually personally witnessed a guy have a frat party in this one quad, which, if you don't know, my university's apartments, my on-campus apartments, like the one that I live in, were run by different quads. So we have 7 of them on my campus, and so there's quads 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, of course. And in quads 4 and 5, there have been parties and kids have been removed. The kid that I saw get removed was from the 4s, or quad 4. Essentially what happened was he had a frat party, and the public safety officers, or PS as we call them on campus, caught them, and they ended up pulling the kids out of the apartment and telling them that they had to leave campus entirely. So I personally watched this kid have public safety officers and the head of residential life show up to his apartment, knock on his door, and tell him that he had to leave. And I watched the entire thing happen. I saw the kid get escorted out of the village, which is where all the apartments are, and into a public safety vehicle, then brought to the public safety department on my campus for his parents to have to come pick him up. He was on the phone the entire time with his mom, talking about how he didn't actually host the party and how he wasn't there, which is a flat out lie, and the public safety officers knew that right off the bat. But nevertheless, he did end up getting removed. So that was a fucking scary thing to witness, and it honestly just makes me not want to have people in my apartment at all. I mean, I have a girlfriend and I would really like her to come over, but I'm not trying to get removed from campus for that reason, so obviously I'm not going to be doing that kind of thing. But moving on from that, I wanted to say that there has been a lot more people outside, which is very nice, obviously with good reason, since they're not allowed to be in other people's apartments and dorms. Of course, they're going to have to hang outside if they want to be able to be around the people that they hang out with, like their friends and whatnot. But the problem with this is there's a lot less privacy, and if you are in a relationship like I am, then it's really hard to hang out with your boyfriend or girlfriend if you are required to hang outside. So your relationship becomes extremely public, and you have to wear a mask at all times. So it's nearly impossible to get close or develop any kind of intimate relationship or any close friendship with people, because there's obviously a distance requirement and the fact that they have to wear a mask at all times if they're talking to anybody. So the privacy has been really, really fucking lacking in this department. And as a result, it's kind of getting people a little bit on edge about the entire thing. I would imagine that within the next month, a lot more people are going to be breaking the rules, and way more than 12 people are going to be removed from housing. As a result of the people on my campus having to go outside in order to socialize, a lot of the kids in the freshman dorms have been playing basketball as of recently, because there's a hoop right by one of the dormitories over towards the center part of our campus that the freshmen specifically live in. So because they can't go into other people's dorms and make any friends personally, they've had to go outside and make friends that way. And the basketball hoop that we have on our campus has led to a lot of people playing. And the problem with that is there's a lot of contact within basketball, and considering you're supposed to be 6 feet apart, it's kind of impossible to play. But obviously these kids don't care. These freshmen really, really want to be able to hang out and make as many friends as they possibly can, and they're using basketball as a very large way to be able to do that kind of thing, since they can't really get the college experience that they genuinely wanted. But a lot of these kids have been not wearing masks and just flat out not following any of the rules that we have put in place. And actually, as a result of that, literally this morning, the basketball hoop was removed. The entire hoop. I don't just necessarily mean the rim. I mean the entire hoop was taken up and completely removed from the area that it was originally put in. And I don't know what the fuck they did with it. They probably like stored it in some storage container by the sports center or something. But that ability for the freshmen to be able to get closer to one another and actually make friends has been completely taken away. And I can imagine that they're pissed about that. But honestly, what are you going to do? Because overall, like, it is breaking the rules in a pretty heavy manner. And obviously, I'm going to advocate for safety of everybody else. So it's not like I'm going to say that this was a bad decision, but I do want to say that it sucks. Obviously, just because I support the decision doesn't mean it can't blow, So the basketball hoop was completely removed, and these kids are going to have to find another way to be able to socialize and make friends as freshmen. And I honestly just feel bad overall. These people have their entire college experience like ruined because of this virus, and it really sucks. I would imagine that these freshmen have the same kind of idea about college that I had when I was a senior in high school, which was, a lot of parties, a lot of new friends, a lot of hanging out, like clubs, activities, social events, and things like that, which I ended up actually having my freshman year because this virus wasn't a thing. But for these kids, they don't have that. Their college experience has been completely rooted from the ground up, and I honestly just feel bad for everybody. It really does suck. But moving on from that, I do want to say that basically every single class is online. I have one class that is not online, so I actually have to be here, which really sucks because I'm paying like $10,000 or $11,000 for the year just to be in this apartment on campus when I'm literally only going to be walking to one single class, and it absolutely sucks. But the thing is, it's a lab. My major is biology, so I actually have to be here for some of the things. And last semester, I had an online lab, and I didn't learn at all. I literally don't remember a single thing from the class, and I felt like I wasted money. I mean, I ended up getting a good grade in the class, but that doesn't really matter in the long run. Like, I was trying to learn stuff. I didn't really get to fucking do anything, which honestly just blew. So I'm on campus now, and they're not offering this lab as an online alternative, so it's not like I have the opportunity or the choice to. But it's not necessarily all bad. I mean, the people that were going to live with me were originally like direct friends, but they ended up pulling out of the housing agreement because of the university waiting way too long to tell us what's going on with the housing agreements and shit. A lot of people were moved around and whatnot, and we ended up getting placed in a separate apartment than we actually originally requested or had gotten. So we are living in a 6-man apartment on our campus, but the thing is, 3 of our roommates backed out, and then we got 2 random ones, and then they backed out as well. So now it's me and 2 other roommates living in a 6-man apartment. So we all have our own room, which is like pretty nice, but the problem with it is that we're going to end up getting randoms at some point. Like, it's not going to be like this the entire year, I can tell you right now. But as of right now, I guess that's like the big upside to this entire thing. So the privacy in this aspect is, I guess fairly high. The only problem with being inside and being on online classes, though, is the fact that there's a lot of distractions. Like, distractions are literally at an all-time high. Like, it's basically impossible for me to sit down for a straight 50 minutes, and that's like the shortest class you can get, and still be able to pay attention to what's going on. Like, it's really, really difficult. I'm not going to lie. It's insanely hard for me to just sit there and pay attention to some seriously boring teachers. And if you guys know anything about science, you probably know that it can be super, super fucking boring if you don't have a very enthusiastic teacher. And not all professors are very enthusiastic about their job, at least on my campus. So getting bored is, like a pretty easy task, and it's kind of becoming a chore for me to be able to pay attention and really try and retain the information that's being presented. So that's obviously been a little bit of a struggle, but I feel like I'm going to get better at it as time goes on. So I guess, it's not all bad, but it does suck for now. Another thing is that people are constantly breaking the rules and not wearing their masks properly. Like, I see so many people wear their mask below their nose or not wear one at all, like in the case of the basketball court that I was just talking about. So you end up seeing all these people hanging out in these massive groups, especially outside of the cafeteria that we have on campus, which, like, these groups can range from like 8 to 10 people, maybe even more than that. And all of them will be like shoulder to shoulder without wearing a mask. And on my campus, the highest man apartment that you can have is a 6-man apartment. So when there's more than 6 people, you can safely assume that not all of them live together. So obviously that's not helping prevent the spread of COVID and whatnot. And, it just puts everybody else at risk. So there's that. And it's actually fucking scary because I'm not trying to contract COVID. If you contract COVID, you end up getting isolated on my campus. I'm really not trying to do that. I'm really not trying to be separated from my friends even longer than I already have been when I was home, when we got removed back in fucking March. So there's that, I guess. So honestly, wearing your mask on my campus is a pretty important thing, and I really wish more people would actually follow the rules and not go their own route and think that everything's just a fucking joke or whatnot. But as a result of all this stuff with the pandemic as well, there's been basically no seating inside of like anywhere. Like, we have a Starbucks and a Moe's on campus and like Subway and whatnot. You can't sit in there. You're not allowed to. The only place you're allowed to sit inside and eat is my cafeteria on campus, which is called Commons. And even then, they say, like, do not eat there. They want people to eat outside or take their stuff home. They don't want a lot of people sitting in Commons like there usually is. And as a result, they've removed, like, a whole bunch of tables. And there's basically one chair at every single table. Even if the table's huge, there's, like, one chair. they really don't want you guys sitting there, and it sucks, but you know, again, I understand why. But like I said, because of the fact that they removed like every single chair inside, most people have been outside and breaking the rules outside while they're eating and whatnot. So it just like it's really weird and kind of ends up being hypocritical, because these same people that are eating outside without their masks on and whatnot are not really getting yelled at or anything, and it really just makes no sense to me. I don't really understand what's going on with my university and why they're not cracking down on the people that are breaking the rules, but it kind of bugs me. But it all leads to me asking this one question, and that is it a waste of money? I really don't know, to be perfectly honest. I guess it's too early to say that it is a waste of money. I mean, realistically, like I have all my friends here and whatnot, at least for the most part, and I still am able to see them, which is huge. I really, really, really value my social life, and I honestly wish that the university would crack down more on the people who are breaking the rules, because I'm really not trying to get sent home. I'm pretty sure, like someone told me that the amount of people that can contract COVID that would equal a campus-wide shutdown, like residential life and everybody going home, is 80 to 100 kids getting COVID. So if that ends up happening, which I'm not sure if it will, it might, you know, who knows, then I'm going to end up having to go home early, and I really don't want to. As of right now, I have to go home after Thanksgiving break, and I can't come back until the next semester starts, which is like January 20th or whatever. So that's a long time of being home, and I'm really not trying to spend more of it at home. So hopefully more people can understand that this is, you know, a big issue, and we can get our act together as soon as possible, because again, I don't want to get sent home, and I can guarantee you that a lot of people that I know don't want to get sent home, and I hope that if you're in college and you're experiencing the same kind of situation, that you don't want to get sent home, because I wouldn't expect you to want to pay $10,000, have no refund, and then get kicked off campus. That would just absolutely fucking suck, and it wouldn't help anybody but the university, of course, because they'd be profiting off of the pandemic, which, you know, it seems like a lot of colleges have been doing. I don't know, you can be the judge on that one, but I just wanted to share my thoughts on what was going on and my experiences and whatnot, and basically just wonder what's going on with you guys. So if you have any experiences you would like to share, definitely drop a comment. I will respond to all of them, and I honestly just like talking to you guys as well. So if you do want to have a conversation or something, again, drop a comment. Let me know what's going on in your life. Let me know how you're handling the pandemic and whatnot. Also, if you like this video, give it a like. If you didn't like it, then dislike it. If you did like it, however, why not subscribe? It helps me out and lets me know that what I'm doing is fucking sick. It's, you know, what you guys want. So, and after all that, I hope you guys have a fantastic fucking day. See you later.